What is the golden ratio and why is it so important in design? Mathematicians in the Greek age originally discovered the golden ratio by studying geometric patterns. A Greek mathematician by the name of Euclid first mentioned the golden ratio in his book Euclid's Elements. These mathematicians kept noticing the repeat patterns in the geometric shapes. They say that human beauty and aesthetics are derived from the golden ratio. It is said that the Pantheon and other major Greek buildings were designed with the golden ratio in mind, including their columns. The painter Salvador Dali was inspired by the golden ratio. His painting, The Sacrament of the Last Supper, not only is his canvas size adapted to the golden ratio, but also the window that you see behind Jesus in this photo in the Last Supper is also based on the golden ratio. You probably most associate the golden ratio with an invertebrate called the nautilus, which grows in a pattern that is measurable almost perfectly to the golden ratio. Let's break down the golden ratio in simple terms so we can understand how to apply it to design. Here's the ratio. So for every 1 meter box, there's another box that's only 0.61 meters of its original height, and it makes up the other half of the ratio. This is the exact equation that we use, but don't worry about memorizing that. You really just have to keep this simple ratio in mind. It is said that this ratio and things designed within these constraints are most aesthetically beautiful and feel balanced. Right now I'm in Adobe Illustrator and I'm constructing my very own golden ratio, according to inches, which is the measurement I use in the United States. But the ratio still stays the same. It could be inches, millimeters, meters, it doesn't matter. As long as the bottom box is 1 inch and the top box is 0.61 inches. So as long as you keep that 0.61 ratio from comparing the bottom to the top. What I'm doing is I'm copying this top and bottom ratio and I'm rotating it by 90 degrees and putting it in the smaller box. And then I'm copying and pasting, rotating that box 90 degrees and then putting that into the smaller box. And I'm copying and pasting once more, rotating it 90 degrees and putting it into the smaller box. And I do that over and over until I get to the center point. And something incredible starts to happen. I rotate this entire rectangle onto its side and go horizontally, and I'm starting to be able to make this nautilus circular type thing that you see classically associated with the golden ratio. It's called the golden ratio spiral. So that 0.61 to 1 ratio, it's also echoed in the National Geographic logo, with the 1 being on the length of the box and the width is only 0.61 length the size of the 1. So the ratio is echoed perfectly here, and is an example of a great golden ratio logo. When you Google golden ratio logo, you'll probably come up with a bunch of graphics that look like this, and it almost seems like a random array of circles. How is that anything close to what we just did? I'm getting ready to show you how they came up with those circles and why are they that size. So remember the spiral we just created by replicating that ratio over and over into the smallest box? Well, if you create a circle from each one of the squares created by that ratio, you'll get a wide array of different sized circles. So we're going to do that with each one of the main boxes that was created. And this is taking the rectangle applied golden ratio and make it applied to a circular fashion. And this is what we're going to be using in our logo design process with the golden ratio. So now what we did is we applied the golden ratio to a circular fashion, and we're left with these wide array of circles. So now we're going to go ahead and center align them, and each one of these is only 0.61 the size of the previous circle. So I'm just going to my align panel in Illustrator and doing center align all the way across the board until I have almost a perfect target. You can see how this Pepsi logo was inspired by the golden ratio circles we just created. They took one of the larger ones and one of the medium to smaller size, paired them together, and they were able to come up with some interesting curves by overlapping those two circles. If this all seems a little overwhelming, don't worry. Go back and rewatch this video and create your own golden ratio. Go ahead and create the squares, and then you'll be able to create that spiral. Remove the spiral and then draw the circles in each one of the boxes to create your circles, and then align them like I just did. And that'll be all you need for the golden ratio to apply to logos and also layout design. So in the next video, we're going to be able to go over a bird logo and how I apply the circular golden ratio to create curves and to help the logo be stronger.